It's working. Dennis, what are you doing?
I'm putting on an apparatus on this viola to fit the feet of a new bridge. It's very fast and quite accurate, and it saves me a lot of time. Viola bridge. Here it is.
What is this?
This is a little tool that I'll show you how it works, that I've developed to fit the feet quite quickly. We'll do the preliminary fitting, and then I do the final fitting with chalk, but that takes quite a while and it's not interesting to watch, but this is kind of interesting. And I'm looking to see if the bridge is straight up and down. I need to bring it down just a little bit more. Yes, that's much better. So I begin the preliminary fitting just using some sandpaper. But the first thing I'm going to do is to outline where this goes. Let's see. Let's try something. Let's do it right here. Get behind you. And then I gently rub the bottom. This is 120 grit sandpaper, and it's just to roughly do the first scratches. almost done with this 120 grit. I'm looking at the scratches underneath the feet to be sure that they're nice and uniform and they spread from one side to every corner. Almost. Okay, now we go to 180 grit sandpaper. That was 120. So we're going to use 180 grit. Oh, that's 150. 150. Yeah, here we go. 180. And I use a very nice flexible paper that comes from Tokyo. This is a wonderful abrasive paper. It works very, very well. And I'm holding the paper outside of the F-holes so I don't distort the arch. And only medium pressure. Checking the scratch pattern. A little bit more. A little bit more. There. Now we'll go to 240 grit. And it's the same paper. This paper, the finer the grit, the paper is actually slightly thinner. So you get a closer and closer fit with each finer grit. Once again, you hold outside the F-holes. Okay, and this is just the preliminary fitting. Then we use a little chalk in there to be sure we get the perfect fit. I'm going to go a little bit more to 320, and this will be the last before we go to chalk. This 6-degree angle looks a little bit better. Let's check the length. That's 553.6, and we had measured 53.1. So let's try this. I like to mark on the sound post the degrees. So the top was 6 degrees. The bottom was 5 degrees, and the length was 53.6 millimeters. And today's date is 5 November 21. And in England, this is Guy Fawkes Day.
Wow, this is a nice camera.
So I stab this with my sound post setter. Welcome back again to Taller de Luthier, Malaga. We're located in Torre del Mar, outside of Malaga in lovely Andalusia. Here's another in a continuing series on how we set up an instrument. We've already fit the feet to this particular viola, and it fits beautifully. So now the next step is, how high do we put the strings? And that's always been a question that many luthiers ask and many musicians ask. We use several tools, one of which we purchased in America from Triton. And this is just a small template that shows the height of the strings on each side, the overall curvature of the top of the bridge, and the spacing of the strings along with the spacing of the nut. Has something here for a hair gauge. We don't use that, but we do use all the others. But where do we place it on the bridge so that we get the correct height of the strings? Just to do the very first preliminary test, we set the bridge down in the correct position, and I made a small tool up. This is just a simple wooden measuring stick onto which I've glued 2 straight pins. And the pins are put in 2 different areas. One is for a cello and one is for a violin. The cello, of course, is higher, and for a violin and viola, those are always lower. So how we use that is just to gently place the straight edge on the fingerboard without pressing down. We move it until it touches the bridge, and then we push so that makes a very small mark. Right here you can see a small mark. And we do the same thing on the other side. This is going to be for the A string. Without pushing down but holding it straight, we push it into the bridge. And it gives us a small mark. What we do then is to place the template on the bridge and just using a simple pencil to make a line. I always want to cut above this line, so it's better to start a little high and work down than it is to start too low, because it's very difficult to put wood back on that you've already cut off. So I go over to the bandsaw and just cut this so it's a little high. And that's our preliminary arch. This is where we begin, and then we work down from there. I hope this has answered a question on how high do we make the strings and how do we check it. I'll come back a little while later and show you after we get the strings actually set into the bridge and how we check the height as in relation to the curvature of the fingerboard. If you have any questions, be sure to get in touch with us either by email or by private message, and be sure to like and approve the video and share it with someone. We're out.